Someone was gonna die that day. Period. It was a cat and mouse game for so many years, and I didn't know it. I didn't know I was a mouse. He was a monster. And monsters are great at pretending to be something they aren't. Look at Ted Bundy. Charismatic, good-looking, charming, and he was a monster. Well, I was married to a monster, too. He was cruel, he was heinous, he was atrocious, he was evil incarnate. I'm filled with absolute hatred. I can't express the hatred I feel. I am glad that he's suffering where he is right now. Hope he's rotting in hell. I really do. I don't refer to him by his first name. I will always use his last name, Palacio. I don't want his name passing my lips. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to be acknowledged. When I met him, I was just turning 15. And he was 21 or 22. He was significantly older than I was. But when I was 15, I looked 23, 25. I got into nightclubs without being carded. Just didn't look my age at all.
You were a cop?
Yep. Used to work Miami Beach, but got laid off.
We were talking, and I asked him what he did for a living. And he told me he did corporate security for Citibank, but that he had used to be a cop, and pulled his jacket back and showed me the gun that he still carried.
Do you always carry that around?
Of course.
And he said, old habits die hard. He says I'm always armed.
Can never be too careful, right?
I guess I know who to call if I need protecting.
Here's this big husky guy who carries around a gun, and it made me feel safe. I wish I had known that he was going to be the one I needed to run from. He and I became friends, and he would pick me up and take me to work. And we'd hang out and we'd do things. He seemed so sweet, and we were such good friends. And eventually he made it known that he wanted more than that. And I told him that I couldn't. I made it very clear to him that I only ever wanted to be friends. And he said, that's okay.
That is the most shocking thing I've ever heard.
I got to know him and thought that I knew who he was, but it was on my birthday. I was 18, and my friend Carl came to tell me happy birthday.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, how's it going, birthday girl?
Good. Oh, thanks for stopping by.
Of course.
And I was standing outside with him, and I saw Palacio.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
He saw Carl, and he got red-faced and clearly was livid. He had a look of rage. His hands were clenched. He glared at me. looked like he was ready to kill somebody. I had never seen him angry before. Never. He said, "You whore." And he turned around and left. It was very scary to see him looking like that.
Sorry about that.
I didn't understand why. He was so angry. Carl told me, "You don't want to be around this guy." He says, "This guy is not what you think he is."
You're just saying that because you don't like him.
And I looked at him and I said, "I don't know why you're saying that, but he's never been anything but nice to me." And he said, "Just remember I warned you. He's crazy. He's not all there."
I'm saying you should really be careful, okay?
I came to find out sometime later that the reason he was so angry was because he had bought me a ring and was going to ask me to marry him. I didn't know why. I've said so many times that I'm not interested in having that kind of relationship. And that definitely should have been a warning sign. I think that I was just too young and naive to really see, and should have listened to the warnings that people gave me. I started getting sick, having really bad headaches, pain behind my eyes started breaking out in these lesions all over my body. And nobody knew what was wrong with me. I was terrified I was gonna die. And the one person that was there was Palacio. So one night we went to dinner, and he said, "What's wrong? What's wrong with you?"
So, what's going on? What did the doctor say?
And I said, "Nobody knows what's wrong with me." I said, "I've seen every doctor I can afford to see. I'm done. They don't know what it is."
He wants to run more tests, but I can't afford it.
He said, "Let me take care of you." And I didn't understand what he meant by "let me take care of you." What does that mean?
I have an idea.
What's that?
And he says, "Well, we'll get married. I'll put you on my insurance, and you'll be able to go to doctors and specialists and figure out what's wrong with you."
I can't do that.
Why not?
It seems so cold to marry somebody for insurance. But here I am, sick and, for all intents and purposes, dying, as far as I knew.
How else are you supposed to get better?
The household I grew up in was very violent. I was 14 the first time I ran away. So I didn't have parents, I didn't have security. I didn't have someone who cared about me. This was the first time that I felt protected.
Please, let me do this for you.
I told him if we got married, it would have to be name only.
As long as we agree, it's just as friends.
And he said, okay. He was okay with that. It would be a friendship and nothing would change between us.
Of course.
But I'd be able to see doctors. So finally I agreed.
Thank you.
I agreed to marry him. I felt tremendous gratitude that somebody cared enough to make such a life-altering decision to help me. But I was manipulated into being married. When I look back at it, I think to myself, those were signs. Those were big signs, and you ignored them. They were flashing red lights that you ignored. I agreed to marry him, and we started living together. He went from being this amazing friend to a monster almost overnight. The first thing he did when we moved in was he put 2 deadbolts that could only be opened with keys. And I was not given keys.
Don't forget to leave me a set.
He had the only keys.
I didn't make you a set.
But then I can't get out.
I know.
I asked him, why are you locking me in? And he said, because I need to be able to trust you before you can go out. That was like whiplash. What are you talking about? You need to give me a key.
Are you insane? You can't just lock me in here.
Who do you think you're talking to, huh?
And he threw me up against the wall and he grabbed me by the throat and he said, you don't question me. You don't question my decisions. He looked crazy. I was just horrified. Who is this person? And I kept saying, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And he says, there's nothing wrong with me. You need to learn what the rules are and how to live by the rules. And you don't ever question me. You never question me again. After he was done and was getting ready to leave, he would always pull the phone off the wall, unplug it, wrap the little cord around.
You can have this back, and I can trust you.
Then off he went to work, and click, click went the locks. No phone, no way to get help, nothing. I was a prisoner. I was an absolute prisoner. And I just kept thinking back to that day on my birthday. And I kept thinking, oh my God, I was warned and I didn't listen. When we agreed that I would move in and get married and he would give me insurance, there was never any talk about him expecting sex from me. He told me he was my friend and he just wanted to take care of me. And it's not true. It was not true. The very first time that we were in the apartment together, he raped me. After the first time he raped me, I was sobbing and hysterical and crying. And I kept telling him, we talked about this. Why are you doing this to me? Who the hell are you? And he said, I am the person I've always been. And I just couldn't believe it. Who the hell am I sitting next to right now? That's all I could think of. He made it clear that this was what was gonna happen. That I was gonna cook, I was gonna clean, I was gonna do his laundry, and I was gonna have sex with him. And that was my role. I became a possession, and he used me however he wanted to. I dreaded it every single time, but at some point, you just quit fighting. He told me, shut the hell up, get in bed and go to sleep. You gotta make me breakfast in the morning. Go to bed now and shut up. I kept thinking to myself, he's always watching, and if you get away from him, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? You're so sick you can barely lift your head up off the pillow some days. What are you gonna do? My health was deteriorating every day. I was sicker every single day. When I would ask him, can we please make an appointment for me to go to the doctor? He would just look at me, slap me, and say, we'll do it when I'm ready to do it. He loved having that power. He loved control. He thrived on it. He needed it. It wasn't until I was basically blind that he let me go to a doctor. I was useless to him if I was blind. How could I iron shirts if I'm blind? How could I keep the house clean if I'm blind? He said to me, if you make one wrong move, you say one wrong thing, I'm gonna kill your cat. And it'll be your fault. He went into the doctor's office, into the exam room. He knew his mere presence would make sure that I didn't say anything.
All right, well, let's see if we can figure out what's going on with you today, all right?
I was diagnosed with systemic lupus and fibromyalgia, on top of many other issues.
Is there anything going on at home that might be causing any stress lately?
I didn't, for more than 5 minutes at a time, ever think about leaving. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go back to not having insurance? How am I gonna be treated for my medical conditions if I don't have insurance?
No.
There's no point of running because there's nowhere to go. I was trapped by my illnesses. I was trapped by my own psyche. My own brain told me I was not capable of surviving without him.
Hopefully in the next few days we can get an answer back to you, right?
Okay.
And it made him feel like a big man. And so he would always bring the gun out when he was mad at me. One time he came into the bedroom and raped me with the handle of a knife and told me it'll be the sharp end of the knife next time. And this is what people don't understand. You don't leave someone like that. That's a psychopath. And I was in his grips. You can't leave somebody that crazy, because they'll find you. want to be a captive anymore. I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to die. I was in limbo, and the medication is working, and slowly I'm getting a little bit better, a little at a time. Once I started feeling better, I started feeling that urge to call somebody, to beg for help, to find a safe house, to do something. I knew I had to get out. I couldn't stay there anymore. I had to get out somehow. And as I'm thinking all this and thinking about, well, you could go live in a homeless shelter until you find a job, I found out I was pregnant. My babies. Emily and Ryan, that was the picture that I took the day that Ryan came home from the hospital. They gave me purpose. They gave my life meaning. I had something to wake up for. I was very fierce about protecting my children, and I didn't care what happened to me. My children gave me courage. When my son was young, he had severely crossed eyes. The treatment for the crossed eyes is to patch each eye individually. Felicio told me that was wrong and that I was gonna do it his way. And I said, no, I'm gonna do it the way that the doctors told me to do it.
I'm just telling you what he said.
And he was fuming that I corrected him.
If you want to check, give him a call.
And he grabbed me by the hair and he'd pushed me against the wall.
Maybe you forgot how things work around here.
And he said, don't you ever, ever tell me I'm not doing the right thing for my children. And he took the big, heavy-duty hole puncher and he hit me right up here. And out I went. I was unconscious for a period of time. I don't know how long. When I woke up, I was on the ground and I was bruised and bloodied. He was never gonna change or come to some epiphany and realize he's been a complete bastard. And say, I'm so sorry I made your life hell for so many years. Can you ever forgive me? That was never gonna happen. We were at his cousin's house, standing around right by this hot tub, and my daughter kind of toddled over, and she fell into the hot tub.
Emma!
And I was on the other side of the pool, and he's just standing there staring down. She's sinking. She's reaching up. I ran over and jumped in and grabbed her out and started patting her back to get the water out of her lungs. And I said, what the hell is wrong with you? I said, how could you just stand there? You were gonna let her drown because you don't want your clothes to get wet?
Are you insane?
And that was the first time that I had ever really stood up to him and said something. He said, we're leaving. I said, good.
Let's go.
He beat the hell out of me that night. But my daughter was alive, so it was worth it. That night, was the night I realized he was going to kill one or all of us, and we needed to get out. We had to go, and we needed to get somewhere safe. I started calling lawyers and would tell them the entire story. And all of them said the same thing. Don't worry, you'll get alimony, you'll get child support, you'll be able to support yourself. It was all about my kids at that point. What happened to me didn't matter anymore. Those are my babies. They saved me, and it was my turn to save them. I slept with my children. So I started pushing the dresser in front of the door every night so that he couldn't get in, and to keep me and the kids safe so that we could sleep. But one night, I was tired. The kids were asleep. I didn't want to make any noise. And I didn't put the dresser in front of the door that night. And that's the night he picked. I woke up and Emma was gone. I was terrified. She would never get up and leave me on her own.
Emma?
I panicked. I jumped up. I started screaming her name.
Emma!
And I ran through the house looking for her. And I run into the living room, and there she is on his lap with a gun to her head. He said, I know that you've been talking to a lawyer. I know you're thinking about leaving, and you're never gonna leave. You're never gonna get away because I'll make you watch the children die before I kill you.
First them, then you.
My daughter has a gun to her head and he's gonna kill her. And I'm begging and pleading and praying, dear God, help me. And begging him that I will do anything he wants me to do if he would just put her down and let her go. He picked her up and he threw her across the room. And he walked up to me and he kicked me twice in the gut. And he said, you're never going anywhere. You just remember that. And he just smiled, that maniacal smile. And he left. I'm thinking, how the hell did he know I've been talking to a lawyer? How does he know I'm leaving? What else does he know? Somehow, he's getting information. And I hadn't told anyone about my plans. No one. No one knew. So it had to be something in the house. I was certain he planted something in the house. I knew there had to be cameras or listening devices in the house somewhere. So I started searching those rooms. And then I started looking through light switches and electrical outlets. It was a methodical search, light by light, switch by switch, and just looked around with a little flashlight till I saw something that didn't look like anything I had seen in the others. I pulled it out. And sure enough, in the electrical outlet, there was this thing, and it had a wire. went all around the house, and I found about 4 more of them. And I found these teeny, tiny, itty-bitty little cameras in the light fixtures. He was watching everything I did. He listened to every word that was said in that house. I just sat and I looked at them, and I started crying. Because I thought, my God, anytime he wanted to, he could listen. And he could see. I became so determined. I wasn't gonna let my kids live like this. But I knew better than to talk in the house. I knew better than to make any kind of plans in the house. I didn't even write things down in the house. I started playing my kids' computer game, and I met other parents online that were also playing. I wasn't allowed to have friends, so being able to socialize felt great. It was wonderful. That game was an outlet for me. One of the people I met was a single dad named Paul, and he lived in England, and we developed a friendship. Paul told me I had to get out. He told me to leave. And I made my decision to leave Palacio. And I dropped the kids off at school one morning. I went and I signed a lease on a furnished apartment, grabbed all our clothes, grabbed my cat, put it all in my minivan, stopped at my lawyer's office, signed divorce papers, and I prayed. I prayed. I had panic buttons everywhere. On my neck, around the children's necks. Had panic button in each and every room of that townhouse. All I had to do was push it and the police would come. I knew he'd find me. I knew it would be a matter of less than 24 hours until he found out where I was living, but I prayed for that security to work. I was awake and listening for every little sound. Checked the alarm system 1,000,000 times that it was on. Checked the motion detectors. Checked everything. And I just waited and waited and waited. And he never came. He never came. Paul called me and said, could I come and see you? I was not looking for a relationship, but one day he kissed me and I kissed him back. He knew that we were in danger, and so he said, I want to stay and help try to protect you. I tried to warn him. And he said, oh, I know what I'm getting involved in. I know he's psychopathic. I know that he's insane. I'm gonna stay and protect you. The day the divorce was final, Paul and I went to the clerk's office to get a certified copy of the divorce. And I was happy and smiling, and I was giving Paul kisses on the cheek and just saying, I'm so happy.
I can't believe it's finally over.
I know, it's so exciting.
It is.
And I turned around, and there was Palacio. And I said, oh my God, Jesus, Paul, he's there.
What is it? What's wrong?
It's him. He's here.
So we were standing in line, and for whatever reason, he decided to stand directly behind us.
Everything's gonna be fine. He's not gonna do anything with a room full of people standing around.
And he had this face. I can't really explain it. The eyes are dead, or the eyes are evil, or the eyes are plotting. He could have shot me right then and there. He could have stabbed me. He could have done anything. I just whispered, "Oh my God," and I grabbed Paul's hands and I just squeezed it as hard as I could, and he squeezed back. That was his way of saying, "It's okay, I'm here."
Can we please leave?
Yeah, come on, let's go.
So I got my papers, I left, made sure he wasn't in the same elevator going down, and we went to another courthouse, a different courthouse, to get our marriage license. Made plans to get married 3 days later. And we went to go pick rings. I told Paul so many times that he needed to go home and go be with his son, and that I loved him, and that I would go and visit him as often as I could. He refused to go. He wanted to stay with me. And I kept telling him, one day he's gonna kill us. And he said he's not man enough. He's not man enough to do that. And he refused to go. I wish you had listened to me. I wish you had gone back to England. And I'm sorry. When the divorce was final, the judge gave him 50% custody, so he got them every other week. I had to take my children sobbing to this monster's house every time I dropped them off. I didn't know if I was ever gonna see them again. It was terrifying. It's my birthday. Paul and I and the kids went out to eat. I had to take the children back to Palacio.
Chris?
We got there, knocked on the door, and he didn't answer. And I rang the bell and waited, and no one answered.
I guess he's not here.
Got back in the car, and we were getting ready to leave. And Paul honked the horn one last time, and out comes Palacio screaming in a rage.
What the hell are you doing here?
It's fine. I'll handle it. Wait here.
Please don't. Paul.
And Paul said, "This is enough. We're not leaving the kids here with him if he's gonna act like this. If he's that unstable, then he can't have the kids."
Get off my property.
Chris, come on, man.
So Paul started to tell him exactly that.
I am sick and tired of you causing problems.
And Palacio goes like this behind him. And I knew. I'd seen that motion before a million times when he would go to take the gun out and point it at me.
Oh, watch out!
And I said, "Oh my God, Paul, he's got a gun." By the time the words were out, he was already on the ground. And it was too late. He had already fired the shot straight to the heart. He just started grinning ear to ear, just smiling. Like he had won the lottery, he was smiling. And he went up to Paul, and he shot him twice more in the back. And he just kept shooting him with a smile on his face. And he emptied the clip into him. And I'm screaming, and people are coming out of their houses. And he had gone back into the house to reload. At that point, you could hear the police sirens already from the people calling the police. They were right around the corner. They were there in less than 2 minutes. So he never had a chance to shoot me or the kids because the police came. They cuffed him. They put him in the squad car. He told the police, he said, "Look what that bitch made me do. Do you see what that bitch made me do?" And that's what he kept saying to the cops. "Look what that bitch made me do." He tried to claim self-defense when they were interrogating him. They said, "Well, I think he had a gun and he's bigger than me."
He was running at me and he looked like he was coming with a gun. I shot him.
I wanted to testify. I wanted the world to know what he was. I wanted them to know what he did and why he did it. I screamed. I said, "Oh my God, Paulie's got a gun." When I walked in, he was sitting there with his lawyers. But other than that, one brief moment when I was being sworn in, I could not see him.
Winter described the slow, merciless method in which Palacio shot at Paul. She said he did so while smiling.
He walked up to my husband after he was laying face down, and he shot him more in the back. He fought every little thing to the point that my lawyer told me, "Jen, you need to get out of Florida now. You need to go. What if they come back not guilty? You need to go." I have nothing to say to him. He knows what he did, he knows what he is. And he's in a very harsh prison. One of the worst in Florida, from what I understand. I learned to make a life for myself, and I wouldn't have had my children if it hadn't been for all of this. And having my children made it all worth it. Every ounce of pain, every punch, every slap, I'd go through it again to have my children. I know that's probably the most ridiculous thing most people have ever heard of, but my kids are my world. They're absolutely everything to me. Paul was an innocent man. He loved me. That's all there is. He loved me. He gave his life for us. I live with tremendous guilt about that. And for a long time, I was angry at him. After he died, I was angry. And I used to scream, "I told you just to leave." I'd be dead, but he would have been alive. And it's not right, because he didn't marry that monster, I did. We're so lucky that we're alive. I'm sorry for Paul. I'm sorry for his family. I'm so sorry for his son. My heart breaks for his son. It really does. But I feel tremendously lucky. I got away. Paul gave his life, but I got away.
have to tell the story. So if he ever gets out, hopefully somebody will understand. Don't let him into your life. Don't let him in.
Sad for what he did to me and other people. I wasn't the only one. It breaks me. It breaks my heart. It just hurts my soul.
I have 2 sisters and a brother, Patrick. He's about 4 years younger than me. My mom and dad broke up, and my mom was with Byrne. That's Patrick's dad. And they got married, and it was toxic from the beginning. Patrick was crazy ever since he was like a toddler. But even though he was like that, he was just my brother. I didn't know that he was going to be the monster he came out to be. In the middle of the night one night, I could smell something. And it smelled like a fire. And I woke up a little bit, and I was like, why am I smelling fire? I could see that the bathroom door was shut, and then I saw that there was a glow. And I opened the door, and there was a big fire in the sink. Patrick was actually lighting fires in the sink and watched him. I said, what are you doing? And he laughed. And he goes, I'm having fun.
Isn't this great?
Patrick's eyes went, they were like almost black, but you could almost see like a fire in there. And I was like, we have to put it out. It's gonna spread. I started screaming for my mom and dad. And then I got in trouble for it because I didn't stop him before he did it. I don't know why that would be my fault, but Patrick had already went back to his bed and went to sleep. We were trying to put out the flames and he's asleep. The next room, like nothing happened. And he was starting fires on a regular basis. Every camping trip, every excursion he got with Dad, he got more sinister. It was the last time they went. They came home earlier than they were supposed to. And even my dad looked kind of weirded out about Patrick. I think he saw something not right about Patrick that last trip. It ended really abruptly. The look on Patrick's face, almost like more of a fire in his eyes, really sinister. I think something that Patrick did that time scared even my dad. Did he hurt somebody? Did he try to hurt somebody? I don't know. Still to this day, I'm waiting for a phone call from a police department from where he lived in southern Ohio saying they found all these bodies. I don't know. My dad got Patrick this gift one day. It was this BB gun. We lived in this wooded area, and I could hear something. And it was him. He was shooting. I was like, what are you doing? And he told me, they try to run for me, they hide, but I will find them. I know how to find them. He was shooting cats and dogs that were just running around the neighborhood. And I was like, stop, you gotta stop, you gotta stop. But he didn't stop. So I took the gun, and Patrick's like, no, no, no. But I took the gun and I put it in the house and I put it on the table. And Patrick came in and he just looked at me, and the look on his face, it was like an animal. And he got that gun and he started beating me with it. I mean, beating me with it. He was just like fueled by hurting me. I was trying to get under the dining room table. I was bleeding because it gashed me because the stock was so hard. It got worse and worse. Every time he hit, it fueled his fire. And he's like, I am the man, I am. He was like, I am God. Nobody messes with me. I thought I was gonna die that day too. And my dad was sitting in his chair watching it. He didn't stop him. He was almost like my dad was proud that I raised him right. But my grandma was there, and she was freaking out. They thought she was gonna have a heart attack. And then my dad made him stop. I was in the hospital for 2 days. I had a concussion. I had to have stitches over here and in my knee. My ribs were deep bone bruises. The doctor said if he'd hit me square on, I'd have been dead. He was a monster. He was like a monster when they just hatch. Oh, that's me. I was like 11, I think. I had to wear a turtleneck because I had a little bit of bruises. I knew my life wasn't like anybody else's. One of my friend's moms picked me up from school, and I went to their house. Night and day, man. The parents were nice. The kids were nice. Nobody was screaming. Nobody was getting hurt. I told my friend, is it like this all the time? And she's like, what do you mean? Nobody yells here. I was at the middle school, and I got a phone call from my dad, because he was at work. And he said that Patrick had gotten into trouble. This kid at school had this new truck that he got for his birthday, and he was playing with it at recess. And Patrick wanted the truck, and he wouldn't let Patrick have the truck. Patrick put this kid in the hospital. And I came home, and he was already home with my dad, waiting for me. Yeah, I didn't get all the way in the house before I was on the ground. And that time, my dad hit me a few times, and when I was on the floor, Patrick kicked me a few times. My dad would tell us, maybe it'll be your lucky day, but maybe it won't. Maybe this will be your last day on earth. I think I passed out a little bit. All I know is a little while later, I woke up. My dad said, clean up this mess. You gotta start dinner. Your mom's not gonna be home until 6 o'clock. So I started cooking dinner. I was in trouble because I didn't save him from hurting somebody. I still don't understand that. It was right before Christmas time, so I was doing a lot of babysitting. And I got home, it was right before 11:30. So I went to bed, and something didn't feel right. It didn't seem right. And I looked around, and he was sitting in a chair. I froze for a bit. I thought I was dreaming. It was just a nightmare. He was just looking at my bed. I looked towards my sisters to see if they were all right. When I first looked at them, I thought they were already dead. I didn't see them breathing right away. And he's just eating chips. I was like, Patrick, what are you doing in here? And he goes, nothing. I'm just watching you. I said, why are you watching me? No reason. Not right now. I said, how about you go and leave me alone, or I'm just gonna have to wake up Dad. So he went back to bed. It was weird, real weird. And I didn't want to go to sleep because what he was gonna do. I didn't know what he was gonna do. I was like, yeah, he's coming to kill me. I watched him grow into a monster, and I tried to stop it. It was Labor Day. I come home, and I went to bed thinking it was like trying to get in bed with me. And I said, get away from me. Get away from me. And that's when Patrick said, well, maybe he likes you. I was like, Patrick, I'm your sister. And he's like, no, actually, you're not. Dad told me you're not my sister. You're just another woman. And he laughed so much. Sorry. I went in the shower and I locked the door, and I got in the shower with my PJs on and just actually laid down in the shower and cried and cried and cried. I just stayed there until the morning. I got all the stuff I could get into backpacks and bags, and I walked out and I walked 2 miles to my friend's house, and I never went back. I was done. I was so done. One day I got a call from my sister saying that Patrick and his wife got into a fight and he's in jail right now. He was beating her up and he poured kerosene all over her and put her in the bathtub so he could light her on fire. It took me back to when he was a kid and he loved playing with fire. And now to go whole hog and try to catch somebody on fire, like he was wanting that forever, and he almost got it. This is a statement that Angela wrote after he tried to burn her with kerosene. I asked him to stop, and he just kept slapping me. Then he dragged me off the couch and hit me some more. I tried to squirm away, and he picked me up and slammed me onto the ground. He hit me a few more times and grabbed the kerosene can. He said that it would be pretty funny for the trailer to go up in flames and him and the baby get out since I'd be burning up with it, and poured it all over me. What got me is it was so vivid. Me just reading it, even though it was so long ago, the vividness in my mind of her writing it, knowing it had just happened to her. It chills me.
The day I met Patrick, I was living in an apartment, and Patrick's sister lived across the hall from me. Patrick was knocking on her door because she'd said, "My brother's coming," and she was running to the store, so I opened my door. And I said, "Hey, Michelle's at the store. She'll be right back." He was charming. He was tall and muscular and dressed very nicely, and he says, "Hey, can I call you?" I gave him my number, and we started hanging out regularly. Come to later find out, he'd done some time in prison. And after him and I had been dating for a little while, Patrick told the story. My wife and I had been fighting. She was seeing somebody else, according to him. And he came over the next day with a can of kerosene, was filling up the kerosene heater to heat the home. He said he spilled kerosene all over the floor and had cleaned it up, and he left and had gone to work. A couple days later, the police came to arrest him for abusing her. He was very adamant, told the story without a hiccup. And it's like, well, you hear of people going to prison that are innocent a lot. Never once did I see an inkling of anger, of anything in his eyes that hinted that he was anything but honest. he was really fun. Until he wasn't. He was sitting in his room one night, and I went in to say something to him, and we started talking, which then led to an argument. We were 1 second just having a typical disagreement between a couple. And the next thing you know, his hands are on me.
I've had it!
It was 0 to 100. He grabbed me so hard and I started crying, and I was like, you need to let go of me. I'm calling the cops. You are not gonna put your hands on me.
Let go of me,
He instantly let go of my wrists, had me by the throat, grabbed a knife off of his desk, put it to my throat, and said, go ahead, bitch. You'll be dead before the cops get here. And he meant it. It was total disbelief, and then the fear sets in. I realized the reason he went to prison was very real. He went to prison for actually doing what he was accused of doing, convicted of doing. I didn't call the cops that day because when he told me he would kill me before they got there, he would slit my throat, leave me laying on the floor bleeding out, he meant it. The violence had become so frequent and so over the top. I got to the point that I actually said to him, why don't you just kill me? And he looked at me. I've never seen anything like it. It just made the hair on my arms stand up again. He said, don't worry, I'm going to. I'm saving you for last. And it's gonna be slow and painful, I promise. And I looked at him, and there was nothing. There was nothing in his eyes. They were black. And it was like looking into the depths of hell. It was sheer evil at its finest. I knew something bad was coming, and I couldn't stop it. I didn't know how. Right after they left, one of his sisters shows up at my apartment. I said, the police just came and picked him up. And she goes, oh my God, where was he last night? I don't know. I don't know where he goes. I don't ask him. I don't talk to him any more than I have to. I'm like, what is going on? She said Angela's house was burned down. And it was arson. His wife is dead. His wife, her significant other, and 5 children are dead. This is a picture of Angela's house. I look at this and I just think of the terror that they felt. These are the images that haunt me most. The fire. It's not just four walls. A family lived there. Children had memories there, toys and Christmases and Easters and Thanksgivings. And somebody felt they had the right to take that all away. I'm sure she thought she had escaped his terror, his reign of terror. Made a new life for herself. And he took that. I wonder what she thought that night when her house was on fire. I wonder if she knew. Did she think Patrick did this?
Yeah, I haven't had no contact with her since before I got out of prison. I understand you have a job to do, and I didn't realize when I was seeing you, I had not known what happened at all. And then I seen the newspaper.
I just want you to understand, we do our talking in court. We're gonna get you to a polygraph machine. It's gonna tell the tale, okay?
Okay, so when I do the polygraph tomorrow, how long from then will I be home?
I cannot make any promises to that effect.
Right. I need a ride, I have no clothes at all.
When am I going home? I have no clothes. For somebody that just found out his wife was murdered, he didn't give two. Chilling. Sends chills down your spine. There was no regard for, oh my gosh, what happened? Oh my gosh, was my daughter there? You never heard him ask that. Was my daughter there? Kind of interesting. They were never able to completely pull a case together against Patrick. And the videos came out showing some contrary evidence to the belief that Patrick had set the fire. They felt that they had sufficient evidence to try a gentleman by the name of Stanley Ford in the case of the fires. They do have video evidence showing Stanley Ford doing it. They have yet to charge anybody else besides Stanley Ford, who ultimately was the day that he was released. I got a phone call from an old neighbor. He had shown up to my apartment looking for me the same day he got out. And I dropped to my knees in sheer terror. How the heck can they let this guy out? You've got to be kidding me. I was living at my parents' house at the time. I packed up and moved out for their safety because I thought if he's looking for me, he's gonna burn my parents' house down with me in it. I up and vanished. I couldn't count on my family being safe as long as I was around. I learned through social media that there was another arrest. This time, he was arrested for attempted murder. As much as you try to build your safe, you realize how fragile it is when a car that looks like the one he drove drives by and you still tense and feel that all over again. Or when you're somewhere and you see somebody out of the corner of your eye that maybe resembles his stature, and all of a sudden you're doing a double take, like, oh my God, is it him? Even though you know he's in jail, you still have that sense. When is anybody going to give a voice to this? And that's what I hope this does. This gives me my voice back.
You could see in his face, I can see in his face, because I saw him turn into that monster. And the eyes, I will try not to be afraid, but I'm done running from him.
By and saw it bigger than life. They believed it already belonged to them. Isn't that what hope is? Seeing what isn't there and trusting your eyes anyway? The church called. Not the parish priests, the diocese. A woman with a measured voice asked if I'd consider a moderated forum with clergy about the use of sacred space in social protest. I said yes because I wanted to argue. I wanted to prove that sacred space should be where truth stood, even if it dripped paint on the floor. The forum surprised me. The first priest to speak, an older man with a limp, thanked me for painting what he couldn't say in homilies. The second criticized me for turning pain into exhibition. The third asked a question that stuck to my ribs. Do you still pray before you paint? I didn't answer, not because I couldn't, because the truth would have been a spectacle, and I'd learned to control which truths drew applause. Around this time, my father stopped coming to see my pieces. He said it made him proud to see my name in the papers. He said it scared him to see police cars near my work. He said my mother lit candles for me every Sunday, but she didn't know what to ask for anymore. One evening, I found him in his workshop, sanding the edge of a kneeler. The radio whispered a soccer match. Wood dust floated like a quiet snow. You're painting a lot of churches, he said, not looking up. They're public buildings, I answered. Public faith. He nodded, still sanding. When I fix pews, I don't leave my name on them. I'm not fixing furniture, I said, sharper than I meant. I'm fixing lies. Be careful, he said finally, wiping his hands. Lies can hide inside louder lies that sound like truth. I wanted to argue. Instead, I changed the subject. We never finished that conversation. I still hear the radio when I think of it, a goal scored in some other life. Money changed how my crew looked at me, not because they envied, because I started talking budgets before we talked stories. I learned the price of scaffolding and cranes. I learned how to negotiate with city inspectors and how to say deliverable without flinching. I wasn't just an artist. I was a manager of meaning, a foreman of feelings. Then came the night that loosened the floorboards beneath me. We had permission to paint an exterior wall of a downtown basilica that had been graffitied for years and repainted even more. The bishop had refused any collaboration with street artists until pressure mounted from parishioners who liked my earlier work at São José. "Let the boy paint," an elderly woman had shouted at a meeting, her cane thumping the tile. "If God doesn't like it, he has plenty of walls." The condition: no direct depiction of clergy, no candidates, no slogans. "Just hunger and hope," the parish committee said. I could work with that. Hunger and hope are cousins. They attend the same funerals. My sketch traced a procession of ordinary people: a nurse, a garbage collector, a fisherman, a domestic worker, carrying a huge cracked mirror. In its shards, the city would glimpse itself. Broken, yes, but holding. Above them, I planned to paint a simple text: Bem-aventurados os que carregam. Blessed are those who carry. Halfway through the first night, a car idled across the street. Tinted windows, the kind of silence that has a supervisor. A man stepped out, no tie, expensive shoes. He watched for a while, then introduced himself as a friend of the campaign. He complimented the composition, then, casually, suggested I angle one shard of the mirror to catch the reflection of the candidate's bridge billboard down the avenue. "No faces," he reassured. "No names. Just a reflection. Reality." He smiled like he'd already said yes for me. I stared at the shard I hadn't filled in. It would be easy. Elegant, even. The bridge, framed inside a broken mirror, could read as hope repaired. If anyone accused me, I could argue it was a critique. And the donor money for the community program, he made sure to mention it, would stretch further next quarter if the mural could play nice. I told him I'd think about it. He left a business card that smelled faintly of cedar and power. The crew looked at me. No one spoke. They didn't need to. My hand hovered over the shard, can trembling just enough to make a tremor in the paint. I painted a child instead, a little girl holding a paper boat. I told myself it was braver. I told myself I'd refused. I told myself I'd stayed clean. But the truth is, the request had already tilted something inside me. Not because I agreed, because I'd entertained the calculus. I had measured the exchange rate of conscience. Once you start doing that, you're converted to a faith you don't name. The documentary premiered. It framed me as a rebel with rosary beads of paint. The audience clapped at the exact moments the editor wanted. After the screening, a young seminarian approached with damp eyes and whispered, "Your murals helped me believe again." I wanted to hug him. I wanted to apologize. Instead, I signed his notebook with a small halo next to my name. I have never hated my hand more. The next morning, the Basilica mural went viral. Not because of the child, not because of the mirror, because someone had scrawled a phrase in dripping red across the bottom, sometime before dawn. Deus está farto. God is fed up. I didn't write it, but the photo made it look like I had. The city howled. The diocese issued a statement condemning the language of outrage at the foot of a cathedral. Politicians weighed in. The campaign distanced themselves. The advisor texted me, "We need you to calm this down." Calm what down? An anger I had courted? A storm I'd invited to dinner and now pretended not to know? The parish scheduled an emergency meeting. Some wanted the wall washed gray. Others wanted to keep the mural and scrub only the words. I sat in the back and said nothing. My silence was its own kind of signature. That's when Father